Hey, whoops. We are starting this show, not ending it. Welcome back. It's season 3, episode 6. We have some special guests tonight, John and Linda from Small Water Charters.
Hey, how's everybody doing?
Hello.
And as always, we got John from A&J Outdoors and Stanley Orchard. Good to see you guys. Hope everybody had a great Tuesday.
Been Tuesday. Stanley, you're muted.
Good Tuesday.
Oh, you missed out on some amazing things that I just had to say while I'm mixing this drink. Pleasure to see you guys. Pleasure to be here with everybody.
We got,
Glad to be here. Thank you for inviting us.
yes, we glad to see you guys hit the 1K subscribers today. If you are new to Small Water Charters, their link are in the description, along with John and Stanley's. I want to welcome everybody in the chat. Miss Janet McIntosh, Brian Drums, Mountain Bushcrafters Alliance, Ben Corarubius. How are you guys doing?
And there's Parabellum Fishing. He's a good friend of ours.
Hello,
Well,
Joe.
what's up, Joe?
Parabellum, good to see you.
He's the guy. You need to go to his channel. We about a week ago we went ice fishing on Lake Okeechobee, and we went with Joe from Parabellum.
Okay.
I didn't even know y'all had ice on those.
Go watch the video. You got to be creative.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to see about that.
I'll leave it. I'll
what
leave
kind of
it.
ice it was.
I'll leave it at that. Just go watch the video. But we do catch fish on the ice on Lake Okeechobee.
All right. I've checked that out.
Oh, there's Mountain Bushcrafter. What's up, man?
What's up, Peter? Appreciate you joining us, man.
Peter, good to see you. And
Yeah.
Mr. Kennybody, good to see you. Cheers.
Yeah, good to see everybody. Shoot.
Good crowd joining in.
Man.
You could hit that thumbs up, share it out. We would appreciate it.
We got some fun things to talk about tonight.
Yes,
Yeah, we
definitely.
do. Yeah, we do. So, Small Water Charters. John,
Yes, sir.
I've been watching some of your videos,
Yes.
and primary target, is it fair to say, is crappie?
No.
It's just that time of year?
It's the spawn right now, yeah, and it's chilly. So no, we're bass fishermen. That's what we moved to Florida for. So
All right.
and specks, you know, here in Florida they're specks, but we're originally from North Carolina, so we call them crappie. So that's just fill-in fish. That's filling the freezer while we're waiting on the fish to get turned back on.
Gotcha. Eric Hell, good to see you.
LMB or Peacock?
Who's he talking to? Oh, largemouth and peacock. We're probably going peacock fishing next week, but we're majorly largemouth bass.
Yeah, that's the right answer. Is all.
Right. Oh,
Exactly.
we live in Florida,
Yeah.
man. We'll go catch anything. I don't care what it is. We'll go jump on it.
We just got to go.
But yeah, I started out bass guiding, and then here lately the crappie have turned on, and that's really been nice this year. We've been getting a lot of good charters with that. So
Yeah, I could imagine.
either one, you can call us crappie people, you can call us bass people. We just fish all the time.
What'd you call you, fishy?
There we go.
WTF, Mike. I
Yeah.
kind of thought that was you.
Was he under an alternate account? I'm just
Yeah,
saying
he
hi
was.
to him right now.
We're selling an old. We just had to buy a new washing machine, and we sold the old broke one for $50. Who'd have thought? I was going to set it at the road, but I think they're out there picking it up. So if you see me jump up and run, somebody trying to steal my washing machine.
David Martin, good to see you.
I can
50
How
bucks.
long?
$50.
Yep. How long you been guiding down there in Florida now?
Bass guiding probably 3 years that I would say probably professionally guiding. But we fish every day, all day, and I've been taking people, for years. We truly only lived here 6 years as full-time residents.
Okay. And you said you're from North Carolina?
Yes, sir. That's where we spent like 40-some years of our life was there.
Whereabouts in North Carolina?
A little town called Conover, out about 30 miles from Charlotte, kind of west of Charlotte.
Okay.
Y'all do a lot of fishing for. I know you got redfish and stuff out that direction, but you also got blues and stuff. You spend much time on saltwater while you were in North Carolina?
Yes, big redfish, and that's what we miss the most. If you'll look, we got a mounted redfish. I can't use this damn backwards.
Let me highlight you there.
Yeah, I can't find them now. But anyway, yeah, we that's what we miss the most about North Carolina is the red fishing. There's
Well, man,
one
you need
behind
to
me
join us
somewhere.
in Texas. We got some solid reds down here in Texas.
Yeah, we do.
Yes.
That's all we got. And
All
we're
right.
going to discuss that in a minute because I'm going to talk about envy with the things that you can do. We'll talk about
Okay,
that.
one second. Can I go help this fella load this washing machine? Give me 2 minutes.
Sure.
Not a problem.
I'm going to look at your background there. What
Exactly. I was just going to
We
say
got-
that he's gone now. And now we get to
Four
break
big
apart
Now we
his
can-
background and see all this stuff.
A bobcat, some nice deer.
Got a couple of good bass on the wall there. Got a good deer. Good deer.
Yeah, it's a nice deer. I see looks like a hooded merganser on the very top. And the
Is that the
duck,
duck?
yeah, on the very top and above the bass.
Hey,
bobcat.
Can
Yep.
we all, like, and everybody in the chat, everybody here, can we all, like, Peter's already on it right here. This dude, you guys deserve a pat on the back for a very solid bar setup. Like,
Yeah.
Cheers to the bar.
Cheers to the bar. I agree.
Yes. Very
I
nice.
see a bobcat up there too.
Yep.
I don't see the redfish though.
I didn't see redfish either.
Yeah, I couldn't.
Where's that mini fridge? It's under the bar, man. That's where you put the mini fridge.
Yeah, of course, Peter. Come
You
on,
don't want the guy on this side of the bar to have access to that.
No, you control the mini fridge when you're behind the bar.
Parabellum, I love it. Time to talk some smack. I agree. Right now's the time. Like now's where we get to break down everything and discuss everything that we will not be discussing when he comes back.
Yeah, Parabellum, let us know what we need to ask him.
Yeah. Anybody
right.
has any questions for a gentleman who's not around? You want to be discreet? Now's your chance to do that.
And Tiki Risky, good to see you.
Yeah, there-
So I know John, he put out a new vlog this week. Well, last week, since last
Last week.
week.
I put out a new video this week.
New video yesterday.
Yep, the hydraulic steering one.
We have been froze up here. It did get to 50 today. Things are starting to melt. It's supposed to be 55 tomorrow. Try to
Nice.
go after work tomorrow. I'm going to try to go catch a fish
I
after
want
work.
to see that.
Nice. Well, I got, if you guys remember, I talked about my horrible fishing trip with Joel to Choke Canyon. So I've got the wiring harness in the back door on the truck done. So that's working right. I've got the trolling motor rehooked up properly. That's working right. And then I did the hydraulic steering. That's what the video was I posted yesterday. So that's working right. So right now, all things in my world are right. And so I'm going to Calaveras Friday morning to catfish. I was going to have Joel going with me, of course, but Joel is on the podium. He's teaching that day, so he can't get out of work. So it's a solo trip unless Stanley Orchard could make it to Calaveras Lake by 7 a.m.
Wow.
Friday. Just
Wow.
I'm just throwing that out there. I know it's a last minute.
You're gonna call me out on that.
No, it's not calling you out. Just an offer. It's just an offer. But it's last minute.
No. It's a wonderful offer. It's one that I want more than like I'm willing to, like I'm putting a straight face on this, but I'm also like, you want to do this on camera? Like, did you want the begging on camera or what?
No begging involved. If you
There's
can make
begging involved. I would beg for a trip like that.
if you can make it, I'll be there.
I
If not, it's a solo trip.
What kind of drive is that, Stanley? How far?
Right now, 20 minutes.
I think it's probably about what, hour and a half to 2 hours, maybe.
That's about an hour and a half for me. So
it's the south side of San. You don't even come into San Antonio.
yeah. So it's not that far. It's not that terrible. And so here's the deal with that, and this is why I don't like getting called out on camera. I'll be quick about it. I got invited out with my Uncle Perry this morning to go out on Friday. I had to turn that trip down because on Friday is the Skidmore Tynan daddy-daughter dance at school, and I'm not turning that. That
That's
takes
a
precedence
given.
over it all.
Got your priorities straight.
Yeah, so I'm not even like heard about that. I'll turn down, Perry on that trip, and I will unfortunately turn you down on a trip that I desperately want to do, and that is my reasoning why.
We'll make it happen. We'll make it happen.
Yes.
What's
Not
up, Rob?
if, but when.
Exactly.
And then
Hey, I
when we
scrub decks, man. I scrub decks. I make no bones about it. I will work. I will earn my keep. You give me an opportunity on a boat, I will make that thing shine.
Then when
My
we all go
question-
to Florida for our saltwater trip, we'll meet up with John and his wife here, and we'll go do
Yeah.
some freshwater fishing with them.
Exactly.
We can do it. And after
Well,
selling
be
that,
ready.
after selling that washing machine, I just wonder is why would a tweaker pay $50 for a washing machine?
They're gonna go sell it for 55.
Yeah.
That's where I'm thinking this has got to be going. I don't know.
Man, I tell you what, I was in Austin. I did a lot of work in Austin, a lot of construction and stuff like that. And one of the things that I totally was, I nailed this, at least on one occasion, I totally nailed it. On others, I nailed it. But on one occasion, I was remodeling a house with my father-in-law in Austin. It was like 2 blocks away. Amazing. Like, it was like I could walk to this place to remodel it. The guy across the street was getting rid of all of his stuff, his barbecue pit, fridge, and deep freeze, and all this stuff. Got kicked out of a rent house, and he just wanted, he just set it out on the curb. I rented a trailer. I filled that trailer, and no, I didn't even rent it. It was my father-in-law's trailer at the time. Anyway, so I filled that trailer with fridge and all this stuff. I brought it back 2 blocks to my father-in-law's house, listed it all on Craigslist, and made, I don't know, $100.
Yeah.
Just by dragging all that stuff on a trailer 2 blocks down the road.
Nice.
There's a hustle. There's a hustle in all that.
Mm-hmm.
Too
So
much
we
work.
had a question in chat for you. Bourbon
Yes.
or whiskey?
Yeah.
Me?
Yes, sir.
Neither.
Oh,
Neither.
Sweet tea.
Sweet tea.
I can respect that.
If everybody was sitting around, we had people here. We got a bar with a pool table. I mean, if everybody was in here partying, I'd make a couple drinks, but you'd never ride up here and catch us probably having a drink sitting here by ourselves.
Gotcha. I think that's where the question stemmed from, was the bar.
It was
yeah,
the bar.
We got a nice bar set up, but
Yeah, you
people come fishing and we hang out here and play pool. And I'm trying to get my daughter to buy me a pinball machine now. That's what I'm working for.
There you go.
That makes it cool.
NBA says the jar.
So,
That's awesome.
Oh yeah, NBA is a fan of the jar. And jar rhymes with guitar, so he is in it.
right. Shiner Guy, Geo Outdoors. Good to see you guys.
Yeah, if anybody you don't recognize, they probably followed us. Like, do y'all know Shiner Guy?
Oh, yeah. I
Right.
know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I go outdoors.
Hadn't seen him in a while.
Yeah. Yeah, he probably
What's
did
up,
well.
Gio?
World Fastest Tube, I recognize from your live streams.
Oh, see,
Is he in here?
Yep. He said hi,
That-
John.
That is a gentleman that commented to one of our videos about 2 weeks ago. He's 70 years old, and y'all need to go look at his channel. He has the world's record for the world's fastest inner tube. They put like a 150 outboard on a tractor inner tube in the 80s, I'm thinking. Correct me if I'm wrong, Ray. And yeah, he's got the video up, the world's fastest inner tube. He is an amazing guy.
plus
Who's-
a lot of other stories too.
Oh, if y'all grew up like I did watching, trying to think of some of the shows, why can I not think of Kirk Gary? These guys are hunting and taking these snowmobiles and going way up north and backpacking. Mr. Ray has done everything you saw as a kid you wanted to do when you grew up.
Who is this?
In the wild adventures.
I'm trying to think like Marlon Perkins. He's a Marlon Perkins kind of guy. I mean, you just have to go look at his channel and see the adventures this man has done. And he lives somewhere way up in Canada, up in Quebec somewhere. I mean, he is a very interesting guy.
Whenever you hear that, I've heard this on select occasions in the past, but it stands out to me. Whenever you hear, you just have to see his channel. Like when you cannot describe what is going on other than just look at his channel. Do yourself a favor, check out his channel. Whenever you hear that, it's like, okay, that's valid. There's something behind the scenes here that they cannot even be described on.
It's hard to describe.
Yeah.
Like him and his buddies, they built this old truck. It had like a 500 cubic inch motor just to get back in the snow to catch walleye in lakes nobody had seen in years. I mean, everything this man did has been an adventure.
Giant peacock.
He's my new hero, in fact.
Yeah.
I want in on this.
Oh, he shows pictures where he went to South America catching these 50-inch peacocks and all. I mean, he's been everywhere. Ray, you're my hero. You're my step grandpa.
I put his link in the chat.
Very nice. Very nice.
Beat me to
That's,
it.
that's what I tell Lindy all the time. I'll be watching a video and she goes, "Who is it?" I'll say, "It's my step grandpa Ray."
So what does it take to become step grandpa, step grand? I don't even. How do you get in on this? I want this. This is a gentleman I want to have a wrench.
He commented, and I followed his name, and I saw everything he did, and I kind of appointed him my. I don't know if he's keen with it or not, but that's what I call him. Yeah, that was all me. Ray has nothing to do with it. That's all me there.
Danny Baker, good to see you. Sam, Cedar Ridge Whitetails, good to see you. If you guys like big bucks, check out Cedar Ridge Whitetails. He's in the chat. He's trying to hit his 1K as well. You guys don't know Small Water Charters, check them out. Link is in the description. So talking about 50-inch peacocks, let's talk about some personal best that you guys caught and personal best that you've chartered.
Okay, Lindia, what's your personal best bass? Large
Yeah.
9-9.
9.9 for her, and your peacock is probably
5-8
5.8, something in there.
in my peacock. Yeah.
And what else we got? Crappie, 2 pounds.
Crappie, 2 pounds.
My largemouth is a 10.6, and my peacock's probably smaller than yours. Probably 4. But now my charters, I have a 7.8 is my biggest, and he actually caught it on a swim bait. I melted a bunch of old swim baits, made me a plaster of Paris mold. This guy came in, and I figured that's the best way to try your lure. I handed it to him and told him we've been wrecking them on them for a week. Dude, that thing just come out of the mold the night before. I mean, I had never made one.
That's awesome.
He caught a 7.8 because he fished it like it. You know, we're sponsored by Bruiser Bait and Bass Addiction, so we're kind of fond of these lures. So if I'd throw one of mine and wouldn't get a fish in a few minutes, you know, I'm ready to go to something I know works. So I told that guy, I said, man, just throw it, it'll work. And man, he nailed a 7.8 on it. So
Confidence. It's all in your confidence.
it's all in your confidence. You know, if you believe it's the one, it's the one.
Yeah, you'll throw it.
That
there.
is true.
Yeah. Thank you, Mark J.
Oh, Nicholas, that 10.6 was actually not a very dramatic catch. She rolled out of the grass, and it was just kind of like pulling weight. I get 3-pounders fought a lot better than the 10.6.
Wow.
That's not uncommon. They got a little bit more juice in them.
Well, I got a 9.9 though that left the water, I'll bet 3 foot from my lure, came up in the air and came down on my top water. So we had both seen this fish a long time before it ever hit my lure. We saw the whole fish in the air, and it's like oh, and it was just a big. That's on video actually. Back that was when Headwaters opened. So.
Hey, I love this. I want to address this one. Mr. Covarrubias says, I don't fish freshwater. He's one of our Texas gentlemen. He says, I don't fish freshwater often in Texas. How are people on the idea of catch, clean, and cook largemouth bass? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, a lot of the lakes we fish are catch and release only, like Headwaters and the one we call Donkeyland. And I grew up eating bass, and my dad bass fished. Actually, the 2 big ones right in the middle. He caught one, I caught the other one when I was 10 years old. And I'm sure we ate those fish. That's what we grew up on. But I don't eat them now. If somebody would, like on Okeechobee, you could keep them. But Florida has got it. They're pretty smart. They only let you keep like 1 over a certain size. They're protecting their trophy bass. You can take babies home all day long, but you can only get like 1 over. Rob will tell us. Rob, what's the measurement it has to be over?
And while we're at that, John, do we have limits on bass in Texas? I don't know.
Yeah, there's a limit. I don't remember what it is just because I don't keep bass either. Not largemouth bass. I'll keep white bass.
I need to know because I eat everything.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah,
I'll look it up real quick.
Yeah.
I'm curious. I should have looked it up, but I wanted to have more of the conversation on it. That's why I didn't. But yeah, like I'm that guy. I eat. I'm a sustenance guy. We want to put fish in the freezer and stuff. I don't measure fish. I don't weigh them. I don't. I have started to measure the things that we catch just for the sake of YouTube. That's the only reason. I've never put a tape to a fish prior to YouTube in my life, hardly. So, but as a result of YouTube, now we try to branch out. We do a little bit of bass fishing and stuff, maybe 2-3 times a year. Right. And we eat them. I grew up, we ate everything. We'd bass fish and we'd eat them. But it was just a thing to catch, a thing to eat. And nowadays it's more like I understand the ecosystem a little bit better. I understand that, people up north, they do not like catfish. They don't like eating bass. And to me, I'm like, well, and I ate a lot of bass. So I don't know. You might think I'm weird.
All right, so bass in Texas, they have a basic, which is 5 fish, 14 inches is the minimum size. But then there's certain lakes that have differences. So depending on what lake you fish, you got to make sure you check the rules for the individual lake. But that's the overall state rule.
That's how it is.
That's similar to Florida as well.
Well, see, like they wrote there, the Danny Baker said you can have 5 over 15. Where Rob showed in Florida, you can have 5, but only 1 can be over 14. See, that's Florida's commodity. See those
16, he said. Yeah, he changed.
Yeah, those big bass are Florida's commodity. You know, people don't come down here to catch 32 pounders. They want 1 10-pounder.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, spotted or Guadalupe bass, you can have 5, and there's no minimum size on them.
Do you know that was our Texas state fish?
Yeah.
Guadalupe bass.
Guadalupe bass. I didn't even know that thing existed until I saw that just a couple days ago.
Yeah, right here in the Guadalupe.
Yeah, one river, right?
Yep.
I've been watching that thing on TV, the Lone Star Troopers or
Yeah.
Lone Star.
Yeah,
Law
she's
or
got hooked on
something.
that. What is it, Lone Star? The
Yeah.
game wardens in Texas.
Yeah.
Man, she's been binge watching those. She's been quoting game warden stuff to me lately.
They really good though. I mean, they really watch the ramps, and when boats come in, and they'll just check you out of the blue.
Oh yeah. By the way, you have excellent taste. I got to say that.
You know, that's funny, like living on Okeechobee, you know, the lake's 37 miles wide, 35 miles long. You could throw 1,000 game wardens on that lake and not see them. So we rarely see a game warden. We'll see one on this one lake. These lakes we fish, they're close enough. A game warden could launch his airboat on one lake. And we've actually been checked on 2 different lakes on the same day by the same game warden because they just cross lake to lake coming across.
But for us to get from lake to lake, we have to
drive around.
all the way around.
Yeah.
It's like a 2-hour drive. He can do it in 15 minutes.
Yeah, he comes straight across.
Nice. Well,
And the other thing,
Airboat,
the other thing crazy is, you know, that lake I discussed, you know, Okeechobee, it's that big and averages 6 foot deep. There's some 12-foot places in the boat channels, but you can get out in the middle of that lake and not see ground and fish for bluegills on the beds in 3 feet of water.
Wow.
It's a crazy kind of fishing.
Wow.
That's similar to like what we do with especially in wintertime, redfish and trout here. Is it's all up in the flats, and there's a lot of flats in our bays and estuaries and stuff up in this area. So yeah, it's something that I'm not accustomed to. It's something that I'm not very good at. Something that I'm trying to get better at. But fishing in a foot of water, there's some strange like difficulty and stuff like that. And I hear you talking about that with 3 feet of water with the crappie and stuff. And I'm like, I feel your pain at the same time. I fully understand the difficulty of learning how to do that in that kind of ecosystem.
Yeah, that shiner guy will back it up. If a fish gets 6 foot deep in the water, I don't have a clue how to catch him. I don't know nothing about him.
One of my biggest bass came from a foot of water.
A foot of water, and it was
Wow.
It was less. We were in a foot, and she threw against the reeds, and it was such an explosion. I thought a gator got it. We have a lot of time, you know, gators will just dive on your baits. And in the video, you can plainly hear me say, "What'd you get? A gator?" And pulled it in. It was like an 8, 9.
Yeah.
I mean, and it wasn't ankle deep water. How that fish was underwater, I don't have a clue.
That's timing. You got the right fish at the right time, the right cast.
Well, we found them. We actually followed birds. We were out on this lake in the middle and been fishing, catching a couple, and the ospreys were in the back diving. I mean, back in the shallows, this was back in July when fish should not be in a foot of water. But they were carrying off big, I don't know what they were, big shad. It was some kind of big silver fish, and the osprey were just carrying them out.
Could have been great.
Yeah, so we fought the grass and got back there, and in 4 days, we ended up with like 240 bass we caught along that back.
Yeah.
Made like 5 videos, took 4 different people, took our sponsor down there and wrecked them. Lindy caught a 7-8, and he was going to beat her. So we fished all day, and he caught like a 7-9 and beat you. And then right before dark, you caught that one that was right at 8 and just blew him out. But we had like a couple 80 fish bass days back there, probably with a 4-pound average, and that's probably being small.
Wow. We were talking about the redfish family. We love redfish.
back in North Carolina. We'd fish in behind Topsail Island.
Love fishing.
Yeah, that's
We
good.
would get out there on the boat. John would see the shiners up there. He'd drive me up there. I'd throw the cast net, mullets, excuse me.
Yes, mullets there.
Catch the mullets, and then we would set our rods up just like we do crappie fishing. And we would have, well, not 6 of those because they're great big.
Right. Glorified catfishing is how we would red fish in there, just live bait set up. Yeah.
Yeah, it works. It works.
We especially this time of year, we do a lot of redfish. My technical PB is a 40-incher that we got on the beach in a tournament a couple years ago. We did land what we expect. I'm not going to get into the backstory with this, but we got what we suspect to have been a 56-inch redfish that we landed. There's some stuff that, we can talk about this on social media if you want to behind closed doors. I'm not going to talk about it on like a live stream because people get kind of, thing about redfish. But, yeah, I love redfish.
Yes.
I'm from South Texas. I love my redfish.
Farmall, thank you, brother.
Yes.
Farmall, yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Cheers, Farmall.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah, our limit here is 18 to 27, and I think our biggest was a 38
That's in Carolina.
in Carolina. Yeah.
But we would get off work
Yeah.
back in our Carolina red fishing. We'd get off work on Friday afternoon. Boat would be loading the truck, and it was like 4 hours to the coast. We would just straight there, fish all day Saturday, all day Sunday, roll out Sunday night back, and we did that just all through the summer.
Yeah, just about every week.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
So you two have been fishing partners for quite some time.
Yeah, she never fished when we got married. We've been married 34 years, and when I met her, she had never was. She won a trip back in the day, deep sea fishing, and got sick. She was in, believe it or not, parts like during the 90s.
NAPA Auto Parts.
Yeah, at a Napa store, one of the first parts, the big parts ladies, and she won a fishing trip, got sick, and then she went catfishing with somebody, didn't know what they were doing, and that was the only fishing she'd ever done.
Got scared to death by one of those blue herons come flying in beside me, walking. I just knew I was dead.
So I showed you 34 years of a good teacher. Now she outfishes me every day.
Hey, that's me and my wife. I respect that. I love
Same
it.
here.
And I see our buddy Kenny McCarthy just jumped in. That's Chatterbait Kenny. He's another Okeechobee local.
Nice. Nice to meet you, Kenny.
He
Hey,
catch now his big one on he's gonna get me if I'm wrong. I don't think it was either Donkey Land or Headwaters. He caught an 11 something like last year.
Nice.
Red shell on the redfish on the half shell. Cheers to that.
Cheers,
yeah.
family. Thank you, Stanley.
Mm.
Only way to eat
And
it.
if y'all go look at our community page, a friend of ours, 2 weeks ago, a lady in a kayak caught a 13-1 largemouth.
Mary Kelly.
She's hugging it like a baby in the kayak. I mean, it's a small child in there.
Is that
No,
a
it's a big
Facebook
child.
page?
Yeah, big one.
Big child.
Nice.
Is that a Facebook page, your community page you're talking about?
No, on my YouTube page, on my YouTube
Okay.
channel, just go up in the community part, and I mean, there's a couple pictures of her in there.
Okay.
JNC No Limit TV. Good to see you. Susie by the Sea. Hello.
What's up, Mark J. Larson, brother?
Mark,
And for anybody who's interested, we're talking a lot about like fishing, a lot of PBs and all of that kind of stuff. Obviously, Mr. McIntosh and Small Border Charters here have an amazing rack behind their setup over here. If anybody did some something that you are proud of this last weekend, last fishing trip you went out on, hit us up on social media. Send us a picture of what you got so we can talk about it. Look at that. Look at that. You want in on this? That's what you're competing with.
she
Hit
wants
us up
to
on
tell us
social
about-
media.
Here, let me-
Okay, wait. Now, all those plaques she's pointing to, those are fish over 8 pounds where we've turned them in here in Florida. So
Nice.
every one of those is a largemouth bass over 8 pounds.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I built both the motorcycles from scratch. The orange one's a 1971 Shovelhead. It's a 1975 Sportster
Wow.
that I built, I mean, piece by piece and everything. And then a bunch of turkey hunting along the way. I'm trying to see if I can find the redfish. He's in here somewhere.
I want to see the redfish.
I'm looking.
Yeah, we haven't seen him
How
yet.
big was it?
Wait a minute, he's over here, 27. Oh, there he is.
All right.
Nice.
Right. I hate backwards on a camera.
Yeah.
Right there.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly, 27
Mounted
inches.
on a piece of wood, driftwood.
Yeah, now let's do it. See if we can get the pool table. I got junk on the pool table, but there's critters everywhere around here.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
And everyone I killed except My buddy just brought me that buck, the one over here by the pool cues. That thing is from the 50s. It was his like grandfather's deer somewhere, and his mama was gonna throw it away. He said, "You want that deer head?" And he's such a friend of mine. I said, "Yeah, I'll put him in the bar."
You ain't got a skunk up on that shelf, do you?
Well, in the trap.
That's the thing you notice out of all that, John.
Wait a minute. Wait till she plugs him up. His eyes light up.
That's awesome.
That's actually a skunk hat. You know, like a Daniel Boone top hat.
Right, right.
So we just wired him up, stuck some wires in, and inside of it, give him some eyes.
Higgs Rock Farm. Good to see you.
I'll make a light out of anything. You notice my lights that I made out of the Minna buckets?
Oh, I didn't notice that. That's awesome.
That is.
Yeah, those are 2 old pal Minna buckets.
Yeah, old school there.
Okay, I can see that now. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Upside down. Yeah, that is cool.
I'm a clever rabbit.
So where have most of your deer come from? What states?
The big one, the 11-pointer, the one over Lindy's head, that's Bassett, Virginia. Those, I think I'm trying to look in them. Those are all but one, I think, are Bassett. The far one on this side, I think, is North Carolina.
Okay.
And then the wall I showed over there is all Bassett, North Carolina, Georgia. Yeah, we used to hunt, when I was a kid, we used to hunt on an island off the coast of Georgia, Blackbeard Island. It's a federal refuge, do a bow hunt. I got a few from there.
We have some similar stuff like that in Texas here. We don't talk about. So that's what vodka does to you.
Oh, Shiners want to tell the story about the stingray. That's the big scar I have on my leg.
Oh, hey, so we've all been popped by a stingray, I assume.
Oh, no, I proved that Australians are weaklings. I've had the big argument because, Steve Irwin, he got killed about the time I got stuck. Same stingray, I'll bet about the same size. Mine was probably size of the hood of my truck. It was a big one. So I get him in the boat, and I'm doing the pictures with him. And, I always thought a stingray, you had to kind of get on his barb. He would sit there and hold it up and wait for you to. Oh, no, in the video, this dude turns it, and you see him, he gets me.
Yeah.
Yeah, he kind of got me with his tail first, and he was partially in a big old net, and I give him some extra room. I kind of lowered it down, and he got his tail out. And he's swooping it, and you see it hit my knee. It just kind of swipes. He tucks that tail up under that net, which, brings the barb out, and he turns that thing sideways. It goes, bah! I mean, just nailed me.
They're amazing at how they can target things. I've held them up before catching them, little ones. I've held them up by the mouth, and I've had people chew me out for that, for holding them up before we get the stinger off, because they have the ability of doing that. Like, you hold them up and they can wrap that thing around and they can get you. Now, I've been popped a couple of times. Like I've been stung enough times to know that I shouldn't be touching them.
Yeah.
And it's, like I said, it's an old video on Facebook. She threatens to find it, but I got sick. Like, I hate watching it. I hate it.
Yeah.
But if y'all remember the Terminator movie where the Terminator's liquid metal, and he goes up to that guy and points his finger, and it stretches, and it sticks in him. That's what I swear that's what that stingray's barb looks like. He turns it sideways, and to me, it looks like it just grows and goes, whoop-ow. But, you should have seen my big butt hit the floor of the boat. I mean, bam, it was over.
Man,
Big man down.
God,
and it was bleeding, and, we're only fishing in like 2 foot of water. Now, the stingray is still in the bow of the boat. I'm flopping down on the floor. I figure salt water's got to be good for it. So, dude, I just bail off the boat. I'm laying in the water, hanging on the boat, barely conscious. Lindy won't throw the stingray back in the water because I'm in the water. It was just a whole big mess. I mean, it was bad. Then I
want to
blacked
see
out.
that video.
Oh, I blacked out. And I woke up sometime on the boat ride saying, "Can we not go faster?" And then I went back out again. It was just it was an adventure.
Wow. Ben,
but I do remember before I blacked out, I looked up and she threw that stingray off the boat, net and all, because it had broke the net, and she was trying to get it out, and I'm back there flopping, and she just threw everything off the boat, and away we rolled.
Nice. Ben, thank you. Cheers. Have a good supper.
So I figure if Mr. Stingray made it, his buddies called him Houdini because he had to have got out of that big net.
Yeah.
Mm.
I can't reach it, baby.
Yeah, that's scary.
Yeah.
Live and learn.
It was scary.
They never came in the boat again. A skate get near the boat, I'd cut somebody's line. I don't play none of that.
I got to say on my end, like, and you know, again, it's understood. I eat everything. And a big stingray, I've eaten the big guys before. I enjoy them. My family actually likes stingray, which is one of those. My family does not like snook. I do not get to take snook. And until recently, barracuda was off the list. We weren't allowed to take snook or barracuda, but stingray I could take, I could keep. We could cook those guys up, and I take advantage of it. It is like I've learned now to where I can get that stinger off. We take care of business nowadays, and we eat them like we love them. Doesn't matter up there.
We caught a big one out here at the coast here, and as soon as I figured out what he was, boom, he's gone. Nah, I don't.
Yes, we are, Mark J. He says we're one bar stool short.
Yes, Mark J is supposedly built us. We've seen parts of it, a nice bar stool. He makes stuff out of pallets, and he's going to mail it to me, he says. I keep making his girlfriend mad. She claims she keeps cutting one of the legs shorter and shorter, so I'm not sure. I might get a little footstool by the time it makes it to me.
Right. Duty Ron. Good to see you, Duty Ron. We have a special guest tonight, Small Water Charters. They are based out of the Lake Okeechobee area. Make sure you check them out. Somebody wants to get a hold of you guys for a charter. What's the best way to do it?
Yeah, watch one of our videos. My email's all over it and phone number. Just jump on YouTube would be the easiest way.
Yep.
I love that. That's so many people miss out on that. It's the easy answer. Just do this, and it's right there.
Yeah.
Yep. Been very easy communicating with you through emails. Just been immediate.
Yes,
very
I'm
nice.
not.
Also, Small Water Charters on Facebook.
Facebook as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Facebook.
And it's funny. The other day I had to give somebody my phone number, and I sat in here going. I literally jumped up, ran outside, looked at the back of my truck, and I told them my phone number. Had to read it off the back window. I didn't know what it was.
You know, I got to say on that, I was just thinking about this just a while back. It's a skill that I have not used, but it's something I'm proud of. It's like back in the day, I was really good at, like, if I was at a bar, I was good at memorizing like a girl's phone number. And memorizing phone numbers is not something that I've had to take advantage of in, you know, I don't know, 30 years now or whatever,
Right.
20 years. So yeah, it's not something that people do. It's not something people think of as memorizing that number. Giving them an easy access means of getting to you, like how you said, like just hit up Small Water Charters on YouTube and find that email address in the description. A+, good job.
Because I don't know if anybody's noticed, it's funny, my email is cannedham65. And everybody's like, where does that come from? I mean, that's a long story. But it's definitely not a fishing email. And we talked about changing it, but if it was Small Water, I think you can remember Canned Ham 65 easier than Small Water Charter.
Yeah.
No website, no.
Yes, no. If you're asking me, it's no website. I got enough to deal with.
Do you don't ask me.
I appreciate that.
And sorry if we start. I keep reaching up here trying to highlight people's comments. You know, I'm so used to being in our live. I've caught myself doing that a couple times.
Right. I gotcha.
So when do you do your lives?
Friday night at 8 o'clock. 1 week it's on ours, and the next week it'll be at Coastal Fevers. That's a good friend of ours here in Florida. So I think
He's a teacher.
he's a teacher, real good guy. Last Friday was ours. So this Friday will be at Doc's, and then back and forth each week.
Coastal Fever TV. Yeah.
He lives a little farther south. He's our peacock hookup and all. He just found some snake heads a week or two ago. He's all about getting those snake heads now.
We heard they're good eating too.
He ate one. Remember,
Really?
Doc ate one in that video. I'm not eating it.
But several people have said it's good eating.
Have you-
I've tried.
Have you seen the things they discard in them canals and Palm down there?
I mean, I don't care to. It doesn't matter. I'll eat it.
Yeah, if it's cooked right.
Man, there's shopping carts and missing people and everything else in those canals down there outside of Miami.
My thing this year, I haven't totally decided on this, but I'm like really intrigued at the concept. So we eat everything. That's been my thing for the last couple of years. We've eaten some weird things before, and I feel like stepping it up a notch. I may try sushiing everything this year. We'll see.
I don't eat sushi. That's bait.
I
And
do.
not to interrupt, look at Mark J and that Shiner guy's comments. Mark made the mistake giving me his phone number, and he's like, man, he didn't know what he's getting into. And then Shiner guy, ditto, Mark. I'm the guy when you're at work sweating, busting your butt, I'll start sending you fish pictures. Hey,
That's
man,
what I want. I
look
want
what
in
we're
on
doing
this.
today. Yeah, I'm that guy.
Yep.
Very nice.
Yep.
Shanae, good to see you, Shanae.
Shannon.
Or call and invite somebody to go fishing like Sunday night. Say, you want to go in the morning? And they're like, oh, I got a job, dude. And I'm like, oh, that's right. That's right.
Lots of iguanas.
Yes,
We got a lot of
we got a lot of iguana. Well, we got a few here, but you don't have to drive like 45 minutes and you're in iguana land.
I'm just saying, a lot of people eat the iguanas.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm
I
not
haven't
eating
done
iguana.
that one yet. Yeah, I got stories on that, but I haven't done it yet.
We've got to find somebody that when we do finally do the meetup in Florida, we've got to find somebody that can make that happen where we can all try iguana.
I agree.
Oh, I can make that happen.
Yeah,
Man, you're in
an arrow with a string.
blowgun, a stick. You're in the boat peacock fishing these canals, and they're literally sitting right beside you. Look like dragons sitting just looking at you going by. They're falling out of trees. They're everywhere. And they're not protected. You can jump out and start whacking them with a stick if you feel like it.
Yeah, they're invasive down there. They want you to get rid of them.
Heavily invasive.
And I mean some big, crazy looking things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some in our videos.
Yeah, what you can see some of our peacock trips.
Yeah.
But people's yard, you'll pull up and somebody will have 30 in their yard. I mean, they're just everywhere.
Now, some people are protected. They call them bear iguanas.
Yeah, you get
Yeah.
iguana huggers or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
We
stayed
bring
with
them
some
into
family
Mexico where
down
we hand feed them.
in the Keys last winter. Well, about this time last winter. And the gentleman that lived next door had a 3-story house. They're right on a canal. And he had like a sniper pellet gun.
Yeah.
And from that 3rd story, he would sit up there, and any iguanas in our yard, his yard, or the next yard, pop, he'd take them out with that pellet gun. He was really good.
Yeah.
Nice.
We had a guy come up behind us in a boat doing that. Behind the bridge, he was hiding. He'd
Yeah.
take his little BB pellet gun or whatever it was.
But there's several companies that's what they do is iguana eradication. They got YouTube channels and all. I mean, they're
That and the snakes, right? The
The
constrictors.
pythons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Boas.
I run from snakes. I mean, I don't know about snakes.
He does.
If it even looks like a piece of rope laying on the ground, I'll crank the boat to go the other way. I don't deal with snakes.
Man, I gotta say, like, I love snakes. I got no problems with them. I'll eat them, but I'm a reptile amphibian kind of guy. That having been said, I despise spiders, so I can't make fun of you for that. You know? I don't do spiders, but I understand and I can appreciate it.
Funny quick story she was going to tell with the fake snake. My daughter, she moved down here to Florida and brought all her junk. Somewhere she brought this rubber snake, had it laying out here in the garage. That thing scared me every time. I mean, I'd move it and it'd scare me.
Looks real.
Well, we take care of my mother. We got a little apartment behind us, and she's starting dementia, senility, but that's a whole deal. Well, she keeps walking out in these weeds behind the house picking flowers. I tell Mom they're weeds, but anyway, you're gonna see a snake. I don't see snakes. So me being a good son, you know, I did what I thought I should do. I went and got the plastic snake and laid it where she walked, and I said, I'll teach her there's snakes out here. Well, I forgot about it for about 3-4 days. It was a long time. I said, dang, let me go check on my rubber snake. So I go back there and it's gone. I said, well, Mama done picked it up. So I'm walking around the house, and I kid you not, I walk around the corner and say, oh, she had laid it up on a damn wheelbarrow, and it scared the crap out of me. Yeah, so
That's good. Probably
That's
scared
awesome.
you.
He hides it in his bathroom.
I didn't hide it. I just carried it in there and laid it down, and then it scared me again, so I threw it under the cabinet. And then a month later, I went under the cabinet, and the damn thing scared me again.
Screamed like a girl.
But you can tell I'm not the smartest guy. I have yet to throw that snake away. It's still around here somewhere.
We never had a problem with snakes in my family, but man, my family is so arachnophobic. Kenny MacArthur in the chat, yeah, I am not even kidding. I'm the most arachnophobic person you will meet. I had stories growing up of like growing up. We had a little log cabin out in South Texas that we grew up on. And so one day I can remember going out and walking around in our backyard when we first bought the place, and there was an old swing set that had collapsed on itself. And so you couldn't use it or anything. It was just a pile of scrap metal that had been left behind in the sale. So we went, and I love snakes. I have no problems with snakes. We went looking for snakes one day, and the slide had fallen onto the ground, and it was laying on the ground. So I went and picked it up, and I was looking around for snakes and stuff like that, and there wasn't any snakes. It's fine. But then I look up, and there's a black widow nest above me. And that was the single most horrifying moment of my entire life, seeing that big nest of black widows above me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She walked in a spider nest one time and I kind of looked over at her, and there were like millions of these little tiny.
They don't make a mute button for this. It needs to be faster than that. I don't want to hear it.
You were talking about Kenny MacArthur, old chatterbait. The way I met Kenny is me and Lindy were fishing a grass bed, and we went by this little pocket in the grass, and I had a big one hit and didn't get it. So, couldn't catch it. So we go on. About an hour later, we're going to leave, and I want to hit that spot one more time. Well, there's a boat sitting about 70 yards, maybe 70 yards from that little indention in the grass. I think, that's far enough away. I'm going to go up and hit it. So we roll up on that hole, and Kenny got to stand there and watch me catch. It was a 6-pounder first. The very next cast was a 3-pounder. The very next cast was an 8-4. So I just look at him, and we like pack up and leave. Months go by. I'm at the boat ramp, and this guy gets out of his truck and is coming towards me, kind of like he knows me and may want to really talk to me. I'm like, who is this dude? And he walks up and he goes, you know who I am? I was like, nope. He goes, I watched you catch those 3 fish back to back. I laughed. I said, I know exactly who you are. But that's how me and Chatterbait Kenny met. So.
Very nice.
I respect that.
So is there any fish that you guys haven't caught that's on your bucket list to catch?
Yes.
Species are actually individual fish.
Either
There's
one.
one at Donkeyland. I'm after
yeah.
that little son of a gun. No, I'm kidding.
Y'all want to catch a snakehead and a clown knife.
Yeah, we want to get a clown knife fish. That's another invasive species we got. I actually had one run up on my lure, and I saw him plainly. That's the closest I've got. But
Yeah, we want to catch reds.
a redfish in Florida, that seems to be like Bigfoot or skunk ape or something down here.
We tried a couple of times.
Skunk ape.
I was just going to say, like, if you want to get into a 40, like, I can put you on the area for them.
Well, we're just meeting each other. We can swap up some big bass for some redfish. I see a future here.
Yeah, we got more conversations ahead of us on this.
But see, what we're learning, and I may be totally off of it. Everybody says, oh, there's redfish here. Everything here is sandy bottom. All the redfish we caught in North Carolina was in the mud on oyster beds.
Yeah.
So that has to be somehow that's hand in hand. We down here, instead of finding marsh reeds and all, marsh full of reeds, they're all mangroves and white sand. And I just struggle, man.
We get there's more on
the west side. There's supposed to be more redfish, but like I said, but we left kind of like you. If you left where you're at and moved down here, you just can't. Your idea of red fishing is not what their red fishing is down here.
Yeah, for sure.
Gotcha.
We went from having like 40 redfish days to we can't find these things. Is there any here? I think I saw one day.
That's how I feel about snook down here.
Now we got snook. Yeah, we got snook everywhere.
Yeah, it's a rare find here.
That's like I said, they must like sand better because we have a bunch of snook and tarpon.
And we think we had a snook hooked. We're not sure. We saw something big and silver about this long.
We were having,
jump up out of the
yeah, we got on some and went back like 4 times, but when they would hit our live bait, they would just explode on top of the water, just like a tarpon. You see, just splat, and then they would turn and run and just spool you. So we'd go back the next time, a little bigger line, try it again. They'd do the same thing and spool us. And we finally got a big stingray out of it, but we never did. I'm not 100% sure. Even on videos, you can tell it's silver. So it was either a tarpon or a big snook, but now we're talking big fish. It's a pretty nice fish.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say we have some similar circumstances with tarpon. They're here. They're a little bit more difficult to get into down here. It's not something that you can just catch It's not something that you can catch as commonly as you used to be able to.
Right. Now you can go down. You can go down to the Keys, get half loaded, and walk out on the pier and hold a fish and catch a tarpon with your hand.
Yeah.
I've seen them guys do it all the time. Like, nah, I don't need none of that.
Right. So those are actually fish that you could catch somewhere close to you then.
Oh yeah. We're only like 30 minutes from the Atlantic and an hour and 30 from the Gulf.
Okay.
And from Key West, we're maybe 6 hours, maybe a little less to actually Key West, not the Keys.
Gotcha.
Easiest way to tell people where we live. If you look at Florida, Okeechobee is the only lake they show every time.
Yeah.
We live you can't get on the north tip any more than us. I mean, our house is on the very north tip of that lake.
We're less than a mile from as the crow flies from the tip.
Oh, we're less than half a mile probably across here. We're on canals. This whole town lives, for every street you have a canal that'll take you to the lake. I mean, I'm not lying. Every neighborhood, they're laid out and you have a street, and then behind the house is a canal. So all your neighborhoods have canals and streets. And
It takes you to Taylor Creek, which is another story.
yeah.
That's
So our yard is actually a battlefield from the Battle of Okeechobee in the Second Seminole Wars.
Wow.
Actually happened in our yard. The property right beside us is the big battleground park and land. We figured out we're like 70 yards from ground zero of that battle.
They do reenactments every year.
Yeah, every year they do reenactments. So it's pretty cool.
Wow.
And that's the battle that made Zachary Taylor president, and he lied about it. You need to look it up. It's a cool story.
So we're in the backyard of everything that happened with the Alamo and
Right.
and stuff that led up to that, the events that led up to the Alamo. So I have all the respect in the world for that. Like, I grew up a Davy Crockett fan, like nobody's business.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been to the San Jacinto monument.
Yeah, it's wild here that we have everything in Okeechobee is around Zachary Taylor. We have Taylor Creek, Zachary Taylor Park. I mean, all this, but we live right beside the Seminole Reservation. And to me, that just kind of cracks me up that, I mean, there's nowhere else you can have the good guys and the bad guys. I mean, just right there. Now they're all just against, it's a funny little town.
And the Seminoles
Right.
are actually the only Indians that were never conquered.
Yeah, the Seminole tribe is the only people in the world that have never been conquered.
Not white men.
Yeah, by anybody. They've never been conquered. They've never been beat. Because, 300 of them, when they came and took them out of Florida, they went and hid in the Everglades. And that's where all the Seminoles in Florida, all the casinos, all that comes from those 300 that went in the Everglades. So that tribe down here now has never been conquered, and they've never been beat anyway, in any shape or form.
That needs to be a movie, period,
Yeah.
bar none.
Well, now they own all the casinos and the Hard Rocks, and our daughter is a bartender at one of the closest casino here, and it's a little small. It's still pretty big, but out here close to our house, and man, that girl makes a killing out there.
Mm-hmm.
Her boyfriend is a blackjack dealer, and she's a bartender. I said, y'all know how to work a casino the right way.
Yeah. Nero Trigger, good to see you. Halo Green Greg's good to see you. We are talking with small water charters around the Lake Okeechobee area, looking to go catch a big bass or some crappie this time of year. Hit them up. Link is in the description.
Yeah, the bass are on the beds now too. Now's the time to catch a big bass loaded up with eggs. Everybody's down here spawning.
It's getting ready to be the full moon, so it'll be a good time to go fishing and starting to warm up. I think Friday and Saturday it's going to warm up, so those big girls, they'll be near the beds.
Well, last week we got in the, what did we make? It was freezing. It was 28 one morning. So yeah, South Florida, my yard is brown. All my banana trees are dead. I mean, that 28 killed everything down here.
Yeah, that's the first time it's been that cold in over a decade.
Yeah, 10 years. That was the coldest morning it's been in 10 years.
Really?
To a tournament during that.
Yeah, we had a bass tournament that morning.
Yeah. First one.
Never got a fish, never had a bite. Somebody won it. One guy got big fish. He had one bite all day, and it was an 8-1.
But there were several 5-bag limits.
Yeah.
But they were like 12 and 13.
Yeah, a couple people got, I don't know how they caught it, but it was cold. Water got down in the 50s. You know, our water is like 78 all the time. That's normal right now. It's 78-degree water.
Wow.
Thanks, Rob.
Yes. Yes. Congratulations on that 1K today.
Absolutely.
You guys don't.
Yeah.
Florida bass, it only takes, they say, 1 to 2 degrees to shut them off in a water change. We're up north, you know, water's got to be 10 to 12 degrees to really affect the fish. Down here, it literally takes 1 degree drop and they will just shut off.
Wow.
And you're in 2 foot of water and you know they're in there. I mean, you were just catching them and it's crazy. You can hit a spot. I mean, it's just, they literally just, you can bang them in the head with a live shiner and they won't eat it. They're just done.
Danny Baker, we can put you on the peacock.
Yes, we can find peacocks.
That's on my bucket list, high up there. Lake Okeechobee is on my bucket list.
Okeechobee is great, man. Since Irma and then all the spraying and all this algae thing, I mean, it's trying to come back. About a year or two ago, Okeechobee was the worst it's probably been in 50 years.
Yeah.
They sprayed all the grass out. There's no mats. There's no hydrilla.
Yeah, Scott Martin has the water thing going on for Lake Okeechobee.
Trying to save it. I mean,
AFLO, I think's the name of it. AFLO.
it was just a perfect storm of bad stuff. They subcontracted a bunch of spraying. Irma came in and it'll just rip grass beds out.
Yeah.
Tell you how a hurricane does. We had a place we called Safety Dave Bay. You go through a little cut and it opened up into like a mile circle bay that we would just wet the bass in.
Heaven.
3 days after Irma, we went back on the lake and there was no such place.
Gone.
There was nothing. The bay was just, it was all ripped out. I mean, it was just part of the lake now. Waypoints that we had back in the thick stuff were now 200 feet out in the lake. That's how much it just ripped everything out.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea what a hurricane can do to a lake.
That's crazy.
But then y'all heard the red algae, you know, they're blaming Okeechobee for everything.
Yeah.
So they let the water build up high, which killed all the grass. And then, like I said, the hurricane, they let the water get high, then they sprayed, and it literally wiped it all out. It's just now starting to grow back.
Wow.
A lot of the hydrilla, a lot of the grasses, it killed a lot of the grasses.
That's why most of my guide fishing for bass, I've been running up to Headwaters, Kenansville, Stick Marsh, the Kissimmee chain. It's only like an hour north, but it's just heaven. I mean, if you would go to Donkey Land one time and bass fish, you'd be like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And it's just flooded. It's a flooded orange grove. They built a dirt wall around it 10 years ago, probably more than that maybe, and flooded it. And that's all it is. There's still, the hydrilla still grows in rows. I mean, you can tell where the orange rows were in there.
Except they have some enhanced areas where they planted some cypress trees and then also dug some holes.
But you'll be fishing along and there's still barbed wire fences under the water run. We run up on a big concrete cow trough, just way out in the lake in the middle of the hydrilla where they just, I guess they didn't even move stuff when they flooded it. They just filled it up.
One of our lakes in here is kind of similar where they one of the lakes that John fishes a lot, and it's a very pretty, very clear lake, Choke Canyon. Is it Choke Canyon? Canyon Lake. Yeah, there's still a town underneath that lake.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there was some in North Carolina. This is only 3 foot deep. What I'm talking about, though.
I don't know how it's got to be. I think it's like 60 feet, something like that. In
Canyon Lake on
80 feet.
Yeah, 80 to 90 feet on the river channel. It's just basically a canyon that they dammed up, so it just filled up.
And there's a church and there's buildings and stuff at the bottom of it,
Right.
where all the fish are.
What is that?
Yeah.
That's what it reminds me
You
of.
will see a cow standing on a tobacco barn. Talk about flooding out, you know, Brother Art, they was building a dam and flooding it out. You will see a cow on a tobacco barn. But we used to fish a lake in Virginia that my buddy's dad would sit there and tell stories about farming that same valley. So in his dad's lifetime, he farmed it and we were fishing it.
Wow.
Yeah, wow.
And that's a deep lake, hundred something feet deep.
Yeah, but clear.
Philpott Lake up in Virginia. It's the water looks like putt-putt course water. It's fake looking. It's so blue and looks like an alpine lake or something. It's a really nice lake.
50 feet deep in some places, you can still see the bottom.
Yeah.
Wow, we have hit that hour mark already. Thank you, John and Lindia, for joining us. Anything
Yes,
else you want
sir.
to say?
Thank you for having us. Enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Come watch some videos. We try to have fun. You know, I make my. You may learn a little something, but you at least laugh and have a good time watching them. So
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Friday, yeah.
yeah, join our lives on Friday night. That'd be cool. Grant, I know I've seen Grant there some.
Come
Yep.
out to the guests as well. Oh, and Grant, have you been running into any screens lately?
Any what?
Screens.
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 Oh, no, not lately.
I don't know what you're talking about.
His wife came out one evening, shut the screen door behind her, and called him to come outside. He didn't know the screen door was closed, and wham!
Backed right into it.
I call that a normal day, man. I do that. That's me all up and down. Man.
Right. All right. So next week we're going to be over at John's, right?
Yep.
You want to say who the guest is going to be?
Yeah. Mello is a local fishing guide here in the San Antonio area. He was on my last vlog with me, so he's going to be our guest for next week's show.
Sweet.
Awesome. Looking forward to that.
All right.
Cool,
Make sure
boy.
you check out. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm just.
All right. Links are in the description. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great week.